Well, good Monday evening, everyone. Welcome to Bowling with the Fef, a platform for you to share your unique bowling story, all live on our YouTube channel. Welcome from a stormy night in Altoona, Wisconsin. We've got a storm on the way coming in. Hopefully, that doesn't ruin a certain football game 3 hours to my east. Tonight is Packers versus Lions. We're all excited about that here in Wisconsin. Perhaps you are too. I don't need to explain to you, which side I'm on. I just need to be able to point my thumb in that direction. But we're going to get out of this before the final snap of that game. Just remember, if you have questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the live chat. It's running right now. We will get to them at the end of our show tonight. And I'm very excited to introduce our guest. She is Dasha Kovalova, who is coming to us from Michigan, and she is originally from Ukraine. She is a huge star on the PWBA. Dasha, welcome. How are you doing tonight?
Hi, I'm doing great. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for challenging me, Nicole, and for inviting me here. I'm very excited.
Yeah, we're very excited to have you. She's a 4-time PWBA Tour champ, has won twice this year in really, I'll go on a limb and say the driver's seat when it comes to the race for Player of the Year. But before we get to all the bowling stuff, you mentioned that Nicole was the one who challenged you to be on the show, and she was the one who mentioned to me about your artwork. And I wanted to start with that. She said, right away, your artistic talent. If you've never seen some of her artwork, oh my gosh, find her Instagram page. So we found the Instagram page, and I am blown away. How did you get into art like this?
I don't know. I was 14, and then I decided that I can draw, and I started drawing. And then a couple of years later, when I decided to go to college, I was like, you know what, Mom and Dad, I'm going to be a disappointment to the family. I'm going to become an artist. And I said, oh no. And I was like, on top of that, I'm going to be a professional bowler. And they said, oh no, again. So it's been going pretty well.
But it's worked out. Yeah, it's worked out pretty well despite all that. I mean, is this something that you would say is now a career or a hobby?
Right now, it's more of like a side gig, I would say, because I do commissions from time to time.
Okay.
With holidays coming, if you want something, hit me up. Sorry, I had to do a shameless plug in here.
Please, yeah.
But right now it's just a side gig because I'm focusing on bowling more than on art. But I really, really want one day to produce something, like a graphic novel of some sort. Maybe I'll have enough patience to do it at some point. And I kind of want to merge my art and my bowling into one, which you saw with my spare bowl coming out. So that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, that was awesome to see that. What was it like to have something you created show up on a bowling ball like that?
It's insane. I've been talking about it for a while with my friends. I was like, I wish one day I would be able to put artwork on my bowling ball. So I'm excited. So I don't speak English. And my dog is scratching herself, so that's distracting me too.
Hey, that's okay. Pets, family members, all welcome here. My 9-year-old makes crazy noises from upstairs. Sometimes they come through the microphone. Do you use that ball to throw at spares?
Yes, she's more reliable than a lot of people. I'm just kidding. Sometimes I miss my spare, I think, and then she says, it's okay, Ma, I got you. And she, like, I don't know, pulls her little arms out and just knocks the pins off the way. Or I have no explanation to it, and I'm very grateful that Brunswick gave me this opportunity.
Yeah, like I said, that's incredible. When we talk about your artwork, what's the end goal there? Is it just to do something that you're passionate about, or do you see it taking you, somewhere differently?
I don't know. I'm not really a goal setter when it comes to my life because it's never going the way I'm expected to go, and I'm happy about it. So I'm not really sure where it takes me as of right now. I really want to maybe produce more bowling balls or get more into like shirt design or like merchandise stuff, and then we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. How long will it take you when you do, a picture like these ones that we put up on from Instagram? Is that something you do relatively quickly? Does it take more time?
It depends on if I feel inspired, then yes, it's pretty fast. But if I don't know what I'm doing, I can come back to it day after day after day after day, and then I can reach the end result and be like, you know what, I really don't like this, and I'll just delete it. So it really depends on me how I
Yeah,
feel.
that's that's great. Do you play guitar?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How is that for you?
I like it. It's pretty cool. One of the Brunswick bull rap drummers here taught me how to play guitar, so I'm
Oh,
very
neat.
happy for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And tell me what the deal is with armadillos.
Okay, so I read a quote once. Don't judge me. I read a quote once in a paper that says that a man in Texas tried to shoot an armadillo, and then the bullet ricocheted and killed him. And that's how I want to be in life.
Indestructible, right?
Indestructible and reflecting everything bad that comes to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if you noticed that, but I stuck a little armadillo on the intro to the show.
You did.
But yeah, because I read that that's your thing, and that's awesome. Let's talk about your bowling story. I mean, it starts years ago in a different country. Um, Tell us how and when and where did you end up starting in the sport of bowling?
I was in Moscow. I was about 9.5, 10 years old. My parents wanted to have a good Saturday night, play bowling, and enjoy time with their friends. I disagreed with that because I sucked at bowling and I really couldn't hit my target. So I started crying and I crawled underneath one of those chairs.
Oh,
You know how kids do. It's
yeah.
fun. Parents don't like it, but I had a great time. And in the middle of all that mess, a lady named Tatiana Maslova came up to me and she said, "Hey, do you want to learn how to bowl?" And my parents said, "Yes, please. Here's money. Just take her away. Like, she's ruined our night." And that's how I started bowling.
Wow. Did it take a while to really get into it, or was it fast?
I'm a slow learner,
Okay.
especially when it comes to like accuracy games, and especially when I'm not into stuff. And unfortunately, for a long time, I'm a lazy child. I like to, my parents are athletes, and I like to lay down on the couch and chill. So it was a very slow start. I couldn't really get my groove in it, and thanks to my mom and my dad, who were very persistent with this being a sport that I have to play, I actually got my stuff. See what I did there? Together and started competing. And it's pretty cool how it turned out, right?
Yeah, it's very cool how it turned out. What should we know about the bowling scene in Moscow? I mean, many people who are watching this only know the bowling scene in their local community and maybe
Mhm.
haven't traveled all that far away. Are there differences between how it is there in this sport and how you see it here?
I mean, I haven't been there for a while, so I can't really say that's relevant anymore. But when I was younger, we didn't really have like high school bowling like they have
Okay.
here and college bowling like they have here. We just had tournaments for like bowling schools or bowling groups that were, not really attached to any community. They're just kind of, you can come and bowl. And we didn't have as many leagues as they have in here. And it's basically, it wasn't as, I guess, bowling oriented if you want to take it as your career, but there was still always something to bowl. And my parents decided it would be a great idea to put a 14-year-old with a bunch of older people to bowl. And I won a couple of times. And it was fun because there's older people, let me tell you, they don't like when a 14-year-old beats them.
Ah, okay. You
Yeah.
said that there's always something to bowl, and I'm assuming there's something of a junior program there. Who would you say is maybe responsible for really helping to coach you and get you to the point where you could start competing?
Well, first of all, it's Tatiana who actually brought me into the bowling scene, and then my mom and my dad. My mom became a bowling coach because she has a degree in biomechanics and she has a degree with, athletic development and stuff like that, and she has her doctorate, so she's smart. And when I decided, well, when my parents decided that bowling is what we're gonna do, my mom really kind of started educating herself on the topic so that she could help me out when other coaches can't. And it evolved into her being my coach full time. There was also a coach from Team Ukraine, Gennady Sidorenko. He helped me a lot as well along the way. And then it kind of slowly transitioned to my mom being my coach. And she now has her own bowling school, and my dad helps her out in the pro shop. So I guess I kind of was responsible for it becoming a family business of some sort.
Ah, okay. All right. So you get better and better in Moscow. At
Somewhat.
what at what point did you decide, okay, in order for me to do what I need to do, I'm going to need to go to the US?
So again, like everything in my life, it wasn't planned. We had Rick Benoit come to Moscow for one of our schools to kind of have a lecture and teach us about bowling. And my parents and him kept in touch, so they wanted me to be better. So we came to US to Topeka to practice. I was 16 at the time. And then he asked me, like, what are you doing after college? And I said, I have no idea. I mean, after high school. And I said, I have no idea, man. I probably won't be able to bowl much because college in Moscow is very time consuming and you can't really combine practicing and competing all the time, you know, and studying and stuff. So he said, hey, why don't you go to Wichita State and we can drive there tomorrow and I can set up a meeting with your coaches. And I said, really? That's cool. So he took me, my mom, and my dad, drove from Topeka to Wichita, showed me to the coaches. I was so nervous. I guttered 3 times. I fouled once. I had nervous sweats like I do right now. I massacred that, you know, what was supposed to be the moment when they decide to get me. I massacred it. It was terrible. And then they're like, yeah, you're in. And I said, did you just not see what I did? And I'm very grateful for that. So we started kind of the process of me going to US. And next year I was like, hey, what's up? I'm here.
Yeah.
Bowling.
No, I read on the Alumni Association's site that Holly Harris, who would become your teammate, said that you were hiding behind your mom. You were so nervous. What was it about about that situation, or being there, that really kind of got you that way?
Nervous?
Yeah.
I was a very shy and like a wallflower type of person, I think. And I was really a mother and mom and dad daughter. Didn't have a lot of friends. I was very quiet. I was just not talking much. And I think sometimes people wish I would stay that way because I talk a lot sometimes right now. And I guess being in a different country with language that I spoke, but I wasn't as confident in, and just knowing that have to be here by myself, I got scared. And I was scared on my first year of college, and because it's a new country, it's a culture shock. You guys here are like, oh my God, hugs. And back in the day, I was like, oh my God, please don't touch me. Stay 6 feet away.
Yes. Which is very fashionable now.
Yes.
But
see, I'm ahead of my time.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I remember, going away to school. And when I say going away to school, it was like 4 hours from home. It was in the same state. And my parents dropped me off and they said, okay, there you go. And I'm like, okay, whatever.
Bye.
That moment when your parents said, okay, have fun. We're flying back, to home and you're staying here. How did you go from that to fitting in, being part of the team, and being confident in your abilities?
Well, I wouldn't say that I'm confident in my abilities. That's a stretch, but I think a lot my teammates and friends helped me a lot, like Ali Tatro, Holly Harris, Jazreel Tan, and Kelsey Helmick, and then a lot of other people who, if I'm gonna name all of them, we're gonna spend all of the show. But I had a lot of people who helped me out, and like I remember Holly and Kelsey inviting me to their apartment, even though I was just a random freshman. They're like, "Hey, come hang out with us." Or Allie would drive me because I didn't have a car, and they helped me to fit in, and they helped me to stay confident when I didn't know what I was doing, and they're very forgiving of my mistakes. Which one day I forgot to close the trunk of the car. And I kind of stayed that way until I got out of the bowling alley, so I'm really sorry that happened. And coaches were understanding, and they helped me to fit in as well. And then people started saying that I was funny, and I said, okay, I guess this is the personality I'm choosing to fit in now. So that's how it happened.
You mentioned the coaches, and there are fantastic coaches at Wichita State. I mean, we're talking Gordon Vatican, Mark Lewis. What were they like, as you kind of went through the program, and what was it like to bowl for them?
At first, they were scary because I didn't know them, and they didn't know me, and I was afraid they would kick me out of a team. But then, as the time went by, and I got to know them, and I got to talk to them, I realized that they're just people like the rest of us, and they were very nice, but stern. Mm-hmm. It's not like they're like, oh, go jump on grass, la-di-da, They're like, they're very, they taught me a lot about discipline and helped me with my mental game. Coach V was very good with my mental game. And, Coach V, Gordon Vatican. And then Mark Lewis was helping me with my technique, and he still is helping me. After college, I remember after Arlington in January, he sent me an email. The first paragraph, which was about this long, was, hey, good job. You did really well for your first event. And then I had to scroll down for like 5, for a very long time. And all of that was what I did and what could I improve on. So he's like, hey, good job. Here's what you can work on. I was like, that's classic Coach L to me,
Yeah. But that's incredible that, that he's sticking by you, after you've left. I mean, what does that say about, not only the team aspect there, but maybe beyond what you guys do on the lanes in competition for that university?
I think Wichita State cares about their alums very much. And like they say, once a shocker, always a shocker. And they make me believe in that because of the way people talk to me and reach out to me. And I can say right here live, guys, Coach L is my friend. He can't get out of it now because I said it on internet, so it's true.
It's in ink.
Yeah, that's it. And also the new coach, Holly Harris, she helps me a lot too. She texts me. Sometimes she'll text me before the TV show, and she's like, "Hey, you got it," and I was like, "Maybe, but I'll try."
Yeah. So it wasn't long before you had it in college. You won a lot of individual awards. Tell me about your growth in the sport during those years. What did you feel was going on that led you to that kind of success?
I learned a lot about work ethics. I mean, my parents put a lot of good work ethics into me already, but Wichita State took it to a different level. And that's why I showed up 15 minutes early today, because Wichita State, if you're on time, you're late. So, yeah, and I think I just learned to appreciate and love the sport, because there were times where I was not happy with where I am in bowling. So college kind of helped me to realize that this is what I want to pursue as my career, and push me in the right direction.
Yeah.
I would say.
Is there a moment or an award or something from your college career that maybe resonates with you a little differently, makes it a little more special than everything else in those 4 years?
I think it was the moment where we got onto the TV finals my senior year. Okay. Even though we didn't win, but being there with all the girls and just experiencing that and sharing that moment with them, it was incredible. I miss those times. And I mean, yeah, it was pretty cool. And just seeing them now on the tour, some of them on the tour succeeding, it just kind of reminds me of that moment, and I'm happy to relive it again and again.
Sure. Tell me about what makes team bowling for you, either similar or different than when you compete, on your own individually.
When you bowl bad, coaches pull you away so you can rest, but I can't do it with myself when I bowl on team. It would be like, hey, 1 sec, let me not bowling really well. I sit the game out, put like Liz Johnson in for me, and then we'll be good. No, I
Right.
can't do that. So I guess in that sense, you have to figure your stuff out faster, and you can't just just kind of shut your mind off and know that they will pull you away so you can refocus and get back in. No, you have to be focused all the time, and if you have some anxiety or sadness during the shot, which I do all the time, you have to move on, So I think that's the main difference.
Sure. What about your parents? I mean, here you are competing, again, very successful in college. How closely are they able to, to follow your competition in college and stay communicated with you?
Well, we talk to them. I talk to them almost every day just to see how they're doing because they're really far away, and I get nervous about it sometimes. But in college, they would come to a couple of tournaments. They would go to the one in Vegas that would be in December, and then they would fly home from there. And then they would go to nationals, especially when I was in Wichita. I was very happy with that because they were there when we made the TV show, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And basically, they just gave all the rights to command me to coaches and said, you know what, she's your problem now. See you later.
And I'm sure they gladly took on that responsibility.
Definitely.
Is there a teammate or two? I know you mentioned a couple names, but that you found yourself being closest to?
I would say Allie Tatro, my ride or die. I've been her, her bridesmaid at her wedding, and I would say Holly Ann Johansson as well. She's pretty cool. I visited her recently. We had a good time. Sydney Brummett, she's on tour. And it's cool to see a familiar face every once in a while. And, I don't like when people ask me questions about names because I'm afraid to forget somebody. And then they're like, wow, way to go. And Holly Harris, of course, we talk about too. So
Sure. Yeah. As you're wrapping up your time in college, you have these multiple All-American designations, Bowler of the Year awards. Was there a point when you said to yourself, yeah, the next step for me is the PWBA?
When they brought the tour back in 2015, I believe, everybody was like, our entire little hub in where we would practice was buzzing. It was like, oh my God, they brought the tour for the girls back. And then I sat there and I realized that I think this is what I want to do. I don't want to be a starving artist who lives under the bridge. I want to be a professional bowler who lives under the bridge.
Yeah.
So
okay.
That was the moment.
So when you were done at Wichita State, did you end up doing any coaching?
No. I mean, I was assistant coach. They if alum stays around in Wichita, they would ask if we could help like people from developmental team to kind of get their game to the next level because we've been there before.
Sure.
And I did that for some time. And then I still haven't graduated college when I graduated the team, so I kind of still stuck around and just finished my degree. And then I decided to try out the year I was graduating. I decided to try out the tour for full time. I skipped a couple of stops because I was graduating, but
sure.
My first full year, I believe, was the 2019 one. So, but
okay.
My first official year on PWBA as a member was 2018.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
So take me back to maybe that first event that you bowled, that first time when on the PWBA, when you're at a professional event bowling against some of the best in the world for the first time. What was it like?
I freaked out, but that's what I do anyway. So it was very intense because you don't really understand how hard it is on your body to bowl as many games until after you bowl them. I remember I was laying down in Vegas and my legs started shaking on their own because of how tired they were. And I was like, this is how I'm gonna die. I didn't know what was going on. Like, is this it? This is my time to go. But it also showed me that, bowling is a very athletic sport. and that you have to work on your body and you have to be physically ready to bowl as many games if you want to be successful. So I guess it was a lesson that I learned pretty quick.
Yeah. You had some help along the way.
Yes.
You've been, with Brunswick for quite a while. Is that the only brand you've represented as far as the bowling balls are concerned?
Yep. I signed with them when I was 16 and I'm 26, so.
Okay. And what has Brunswick done or shown you that makes you want to stay with them versus going to a different company?
They take care of me. I'm always afraid to bother people because I feel like I'm annoying, which partially is true. But I can just pop into the office and ask people a question, and instead of being, you know what, go away, like you're stupid. No, they actually help me, and they explain to me things that I don't know, and they accommodate me. Like I have my own little badge that I can use to get in and out of like a practice studio, so I have a facility available anytime I want. They have a bowl driller who drills me bowling balls every time I ask, which thank you. He's really cool. I'm afraid he's not gonna want to see me again, but it's fine. We'll live with that. And there are people who share their knowledge with me, like our bowl reps and our the engineering people, and it almost feels like I'm one of the guys, and it's the sense of belonging and acceptance is what I like about the company.
Sure. A couple shows ago, we interviewed Chuck Gardner, who you know very well.
No.
When did you meet him, and what was it like getting to know him?
I met him in 2017 when I bowled a couple of events, but I didn't really talk to him because I was scared. Because he looked very intimidating. He looked like he doesn't take other people's, jokes lightly, and he's just ready to be there serious all the time. I mean, I learned that it was wrong when I started to open up and he started learning about my game, and then he's a cool guy. Now I joke with him and I say stuff that if I say that same stuff to him in 2018, I'd be like, oh no, I'm getting fired from Brunswick.
Yeah, but different times,
Personal growth.
Yeah, absolutely. You you provided a little quote for the show with Chuck, and you talked about the 3 loud claps that he does, and that's it. Yeah. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for that. He said that, the 3 loud claps is so that they know I'm there. They know I'm paying attention. They know that I'm in it with them. They know that we're in this thing together. What does it feel like as the bowler, as the player, when you throw a good shot, when you do something great, when you, I don't know, stay in balance, whatever you do that generates the 3 claps? What does that feel like to get that kind of acknowledgement?
It makes me feel pumped because he could be on the opposite side of the bowling alley. You can see my hand, but I'm gesturing like he's very far away. And then I throw the shot, I strike, and I turn around, there's Chuck looking at me, I look at him and I'm like, yeah, and he's like, yeah, girl, let's go. And it's that moment, the banter we have, it just makes you feel happy and it kind of relaxes you a little bit because he's there. Even though he might not be there behind you, he's there to still support you and show you his, approval and that he's proud of what you do.
Yeah. There are other people at Brunswick as well. Guys like Eric Kraus, Matt Ogle. What have you seen them do to help you, and how has it made an impact in what you're doing in the game?
They all differently. They all helped me differently. Matt was there in my 300 game, and then also John, like I said before, he helped me a lot too. Eric is has a lot of knowledge about the game as well. So they all help me in different ways. But mostly it's just I come up to them when I'm anxious and like, hey, can you tell me a dumb joke? Because I don't know what I'm doing. They're like, okay. And they kind of help me to stay loose and get out of my head a little bit. So I really appreciate every one of them because without them, I wouldn't be as successful because I'm a nervous train wreck.
I've heard, people talk about how one of the biggest, things that can drive you south fast is
Mhm.
overthinking. And it's interesting that you mentioned, hey, they can tell me a dumb joke just to get me loosened up.
Yes.
Is that something that you overcome sometimes? Is overthinking what's going on the lanes?
Sometimes is an understatement. I overcome it all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would come up to the boys and be like, "Hey, should our bow change?" And they're like, "You just threw 5 strikes in a row." No, and I said, "Are you sure?" And they're like, "Are you dumb?" And I'm like, "Yes, that's why I'm asking."
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm an embarrassment.
No, I mean, if you were, they wouldn't keep you on. I mean, let's
I
face
know.
it. So let's talk about some of that stuff. So you win the 2019 Queens,
Yes.
and that is, I think, my favorite piece of art that you've done. Is the one with the little tiara. Tell me about that event and what went so right for you, because that was kind of the first big win where most of us across the country are finding out who you are and what you can do.
Well, um, I was dealing with some stuff before the Queens, and bowling was not going that well, so I was very confused about my future. And then they had a Hall of Fame dinner that night, the before the Queens, and I think Wendy McPherson gave a speech, and I was listening to that speech, and in that moment, the thought popped in my head that said, "I want to be that person one day. I want to be the one who makes the speech at the Hall of Fame." And I just, I want to be a Hall of Famer. And I think in that moment, my mindset changed, and I decided that I'm gonna do good. And then the next day, I start my first block of Queens with a great game of 155. And I say, well, there goes my Hall of Fame career, whoop, down the drain. But luckily, Chuck and John were there to calm me down, and they sat with me, even though there were other players. Like, that was really cool. And we just kind of got through all it together, and I won. And it was very exciting. I'm actually wearing the shirt that I won the Queens in.
Ah, okay.
So it's cool that you asked, because I
Yeah.
decided to, show it off again, because it hasn't been worn for a while.
Okay.
That's pretty cool.
That
And
is cool.
I think we're bowling in North Rock in Wichita, so that was a big thing too. And I felt like we got robbed of when we were in the TV final for college, we didn't win. And I felt like that was North Rock is like, you know what? I owe you, buddy. Here you go. Here's your winner, Queen.
There you go. have
So,
Have you ever talked to Wendy about what that speech meant to you?
no. But I met um Charlie Tapp and his wife yesterday, and she said that she's gonna, because I told her about it, the same story too.
Oh, cool.
And she said she's gonna tell her, so we'll find out in a little bit if she approves.
Sure. If you had that opportunity, what would you tell her?
I would be starstruck, and then I would say thank you for showing me that sometimes all you need to do is just go and make it work. Even though, just go and make it happen. Just forget about anything. Forget about everything that holds you down. Forget about all the blocks in your way. Just go and make it happen. And I think that's a cool thing to learn.
Yeah. After that, the Pepsi PWBA Louisville Open. You had that signature moment that we all see in commercials on YouTube, really everywhere. You shot 300 in the title match
Yep.
against Liz Johnson. It's on CBS Sports Network. You win the whole thing. What was that like? As you're piling up the strikes, are you thinking about what is going on here, or are you literally able to block everything out and just take it one shot at a time?
I wouldn't call it blocking everything out. I think it was more like I had too many emotions and they all kind of mashed in together, and then in the result, I didn't know which one to pick. So I kind of went no emotions. And then I don't remember much. I think because I was so in the zone. I was so afraid of Liz Johnson. I was like, I made a joke to my mom before the final. I said, "Mom, you know what? If I shoot 300 on TV, at least we'll tie." And I made a joke about 300 to Neil as well, because she said, if you guys shoot 300 in the finals, you'll get the $10,000 bonus. And I said, "Ha!" And then she laughed, and then we all laughed, and look where it got us.
Who do you think was more nervous when that was going on, you or your mom?
My mom.
Yeah?
Because you could see her. She says she wasn't nervous, but I know she's lying.
Yeah.
You can see her being like very, very nervous. She was clenching to Chuck's wife, Deborah, Deb, and it was really cool that she was there for that moment. My dad is jealous because he left right before the Louisville Open.
Oh, yeah, I bet. After that, 2019 is a great season. You won 2 times, and then COVID hits, and they cancel the 2020 season. So, you ladies on the tour have a decision to make. How are you going to spend that time but still stay sharp in the sport that you love? What did you do?
Well, I moved to Michigan a week before COVID hit. So I didn't know a lot of people here. It was very hard. And I decided, I wanted to lose weight for a while, and I decided to just kind of spend that time working out and figuring out how I can do that. And I decided to bowl a lot more because that's the part of my identity. So when they closed down the office and I couldn't go bowl anymore, that was rough. It was like very rough 3 months. That I just didn't know what to do. So I just walked with my dog every day, or did some workout, or read and learned how to play guitar. And then when I reopened again, it gave me an appreciation for what I'm doing, and it kind of fired me up a little bit. And I was ready to go again, but I was afraid that the tour will not come back. But it did, so everything worked out perfectly.
Yeah. Was it tough to get back to the point, and I'm talking physically, where you're making the same good shots and doing the same things as before the shutdown?
I think it was not tough physically, but it was tough mentally to believe that I can execute the same way I did before the shutdown, because I was very sharp, and then COVID hit, and then now it's basically my limbs don't know what they're doing. My head knows what I need to do, but my limbs are like
Yeah. But they get the tour going back, and and you end up winning again at the PWBA Twin Cities Open with 2 big games in the stepladder. And the Twin Cities Open is kind of special to me and kind of special to this show because Brent Prentice was a high school teammate of mine. So, I asked him, about you, thinking he'd say something about how excited you were to win because, that's the first big win coming back from COVID and everybody's all excited. But instead,
I think I might know what he said.
He reset things back to his first Twin Cities Open in 2018 because you two laugh about that a lot. He said that you two joked around last year about falling up the stairs the first year he had the Twin Cities Open.
Yeah.
He said that you were in a rush to get up the stairs to bowl and fell walking up, and that he caught you.
Yeah.
And he said that he felt so bad because you tripped and went down so hard. I'm assuming these are those concrete steps outside by the door that leads to 1 and 2?
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry, Brant. I'm not the one who put the paddock downstairs.
Oh, it was inside.
It was inside. It was downstairs because we were coming up from the paddock. And I was with 2 triple totes going up, and I tripped. And he caught me. And you know what, Brent? Who puts the paddock downstairs, huh? Who does that? With bowling balls. I understand it would be like synchronized swimming. You just take your swimsuit and go. But who puts the paddock downstairs when you know you have to get those big bags and go up? I'm going to get banned from the bowling center, aren't I?
Oh, no. I'll put in a good word for you and make sure that doesn't happen. But now you have a great story that you can laugh together about, right?
Yes, it's a fantastic story. I'm just glad he brought it up on your show, because as soon as you said his name, I was like, I bet he's gonna. Yep, there it is.
He's good like that, isn't he?
Fantastic.
Yeah. But in all seriousness, to win that event, in the face of coming back from a year off, what did that tell you about yourself?
That I don't suck as much as I thought I would.
That's one way to put it.
Yep. And it was I was happy because, when you have your breakdown year, you're afraid that your next year gonna be really bad.
Yeah.
So that's what I was thinking. And then I won a title. I was like, well, at least I won one title. So we can't really tell that my year was bad, because at least I will come out of it with a win. So that's cool. That made me very happy.
Yeah. And then you go on to win in Louisville again. And this was the first time a PWBA player had successfully defended a title in several years. So let me ask you, did the idea of defending that title change the mental state you were in going into Louisville this year, or were you able to treat it just as another event?
Yeah, I was able to treat it as another event because I kind of burned out myself on thinking, I have to defend the title during the USBC Queens. And I realized that I shouldn't treat it the same way if I want to succeed. So I just kind of went there with the clear mind. Bowl reps were there, Chuck and John. They helped me a lot again. They helped me with my anxiety again. And, we won again. So don't fix something that's not broken.
I noticed you said we won. Not I won, but we won. Tell me about that. Why is it a we thing when you win a title?
Because we're a team. I rely a lot on my bowl reps to help me out, and I know how much of a pain in the butt I can be. I can say the word butt in the show, right?
Oh, as much as you want.
But okay, great. So when we win, we as a team won because we all made decisions to help me out so I can succeed. I mean, I know I'm the one who's throwing the shot, but they're helping me tremendous amount. They say, oh, it's nothing, it's our job, but really, they just help me to stay sane and to believe in myself. That's why I say we. They're part of my success too, so I can't really rob them of that credit.
Is there something about that center in Louisville that you feel maybe, I don't want to say gives you an advantage, but maybe that works well with your game?
A lot of people say that they like suitcase release. I don't know if that's what I do, I guess, but I think it's just, I'm not sure. Maybe I should just move to Kentucky. I don't know. I'm not going to do that.
Right.
But maybe it's because it's next to the amusement park, and I hope that if I win, I can finally go to that amusement park, which, spoiler alert, I didn't.
Not enough time?
Nope.
No.
Too tired.
Yeah. So a few weeks later, in Spokane, you again made the stepladder, but things didn't go so well. You end up shooting 115 against Kelly Kulik. She won the match. And I thought your social post afterwards was pretty interesting. You said that it feels very liberating in a way because I always feared something like this would happen. And, well, it did. And I'm still here. So tell me, how much reflection did it take for you to truly think on the bright side after a game like that?
I think I'm still processing it because every time I walked into the bowling alley, I yell, hey, how does it feel to have a lowest and the highest game record holder in PWBA? I'm right here. So I think it will take me a while to completely get over it, but I live by a rule that, if I laugh about it, it can't hurt me. So I think that's why I try to take it with, some humor in it. And it did feel liberating in a way because I was always afraid that, I'm going to shoot a really small game in the qualifying. No, I've shot a in the finals where everybody saw it. But hey, you know what? Still breathing, so nothing. The lightning didn't, the sky didn't fall apart. The lightning didn't struck me over there. I'm still here. So it's just a thing that you have to. Sometimes happens.
Sure. Do you take some solace knowing there's a guy named Tom Doherty out there who did something similar and then came back and won a few tournaments?
Oh, do you know how many people tagged him in my post? I said, hey, this guy did it. I'm like, I'm so sorry, Tom. I don't want you to relive that moment again, but here we are.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, there we go. So, everybody involved with the PWBA Tour is looking at late October. It's a pretty big deal for you. It's a pretty big deal for the rest of the players. You got this Fall Classic Series, 3 events, all in Reno at the National Bowling Stadium. That includes the Tour Championship. So, like I said at the beginning, you're in the running for Player of the Year. There's a lot riding on what happens in that building in late October. So, how do you prepare for that series of events?
Well, thank you for reminding me of that. Now I'm going to spend hours being nervous. Appreciate it.
But you'll have time to get over that before you take the first shot. Right?
Let's bet on it. I think I practice a lot now, like even more than I used to before, because I wanted to make sure when my mind fails me, my body wouldn't. So I think it's like my, how do you say it? Safety cushion. So I want to make sure that I'm doing the right thing, even though my mind says, scary, run away, hide in the bathroom, never come out, So that's what I'm doing. And I'm really trying to get into the mindset of just bowling no matter what, because as you probably have seen, I go through the stretches of time where I have to restart my approach because, again, my lizard brain says, scary, don't move. So I can't. My legs are like, nope, can't go. So I have to restart and go again. So I'm really trying to just kind of just bowl, Dasha. Just bowl. Just go.
Yeah.
I'm annoyed about it. I'm sure everybody else is annoyed about it, but talk to this.
When you say practice, is that simply going out to the center, to the training facility and practicing? Do you do leagues? Do you do local tournaments? Anything like that?
I do leagues. I bowl league on Tuesdays. I do local tournaments too every once in a while. I go to Brunswick and I bowl, in I try to learn the bowl motion. I try to learn how the pattern breaks down. I try to practice my accuracy. I try to make sure that I'm doing okay. And everything is different. Every time I go to practice, it's something different. But mostly it's just me trying to train my body to do something, regardless of what my brain thinks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you go from here? Obviously, after those 3 events, the tour season is over. And then I would assume there's kind of a lull before the next season starts.
Mm-hmm.
What do you see yourself doing after this season and really into the future?
Hopefully going on a vacation. I haven't been to one in a while. But I don't know. Again, I have no idea what my future brings me because as I told you in the course of this hour, my life is just very random. It's just random events that happen. And I'm like, oh, okay, I guess I'm going to do this now. So we'll find out in the next episode of, I don't know, Dasha's life or something like that.
Yeah, hey, we'll be watching. That's for sure. Okay. Speaking of someone who's watching, look who's watching. Deborah Gardner. But it's Deb. Chuck.
It's Chuck, but it's Deb. I'm so confused. Deb. Why are you doing this to me? Hey,
it's just to keep us on our toes.
Do you think you heard all those good things that I talked about him? Because I totally said all the good things about it,
I think so, because he went on to say, we love her so much for sure, and that's got to mean a lot, right?
It's very sweet, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll get you. Oh, there you go.
That's the thing about the heart thing. It's it's always right side up, no matter which way There's
also this gesture. You can do this gesture too. It's like I think it's a heart over here, and it kind of looks like an anatomical heart. So,
Oh,
with the vowels and stuff, it's like you cross these fingers like this, and you're like, it's a heart.
okay. Oh, I see what you're doing. Yeah.
And you'd be
Learn
like,
something new.
I got it in my pocket.
Oh, and now they said we are both watching. So, see?
That's creepy.
I hope they've got a big screen and they're not gathered around a little laptop, you know?
They probably have, I mean, knowing Chuck, they've got the popcorn ready, some wine, and they're just chilling.
Yeah, absolutely. So I told you this, when we started the episode, but we do a thing called Off the Sheet here, where we ask you to challenge somebody else, and skill level's kind of irrelevant, but somebody who has a passion for the game and someone who has an interesting story to tell. So, Dasha Kovalova, who would you like to challenge to be on a future episode of Bowling with the Fef?
I'm gonna challenge Ashley Galante and my new best friend Charlie Tapp.
There you go. Yeah. What are we going to hear from those two? Why did you challenge those two?
I met Charlie yesterday, and I think he's cool. So there's that. And Ashley's my friend, and I think both of those people would be fun to talk to, and they have interesting stories, and they're very passionate about what they do. So
perfect.
Yes.
Well, Ashley, Charlie, if you're watching, please reach out. You can find me on Facebook, Andrew Pfeffer. Just send me a direct message, or you can email me at bowlingwiththefef@yahoo.com. Our next live stream is coming up on Tuesday, September 28th, 6 p.m. Central. Dasha, it has been a pleasure. I'm so happy you were able to come on tonight.
Same.
Yeah.
There you go.
And best of luck in the rest of the season and beyond. I know we'll be looking forward to to seeing you and the other ladies compete out in Reno.
Yeah, I'm excited for that as well. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. That's our show tonight. From here, we hope to see you next week. Be just and fear not. Have a great night. Go Pack.